Hey y'all, it's Matt from TPStool.com. We're going to talk about something different today. We're going to talk about the MAP sensor, Manifold Absolute Pressure Sensor. So real quick, Matt from TPStool.com, we make meters for testing the throttle position sensor, or TPS. But the TPS is only part of the equation. So if you buy this tool, it comes with a whole pile of adapters. In this case, we're going to be using the Model 3. If you happen to have a plug that we don't have an adapter for, which we have plugs for most everything, most of the power sports, there's this universal adapter which allows you to plug into the pins individually, and you may use this if you're going to be testing a MAP sensor, because I think some of the MAP sensors are a little different. But on this one, this is from a YZ250F, and we're going to use this throttle body to show both the TPS and the MAP sensor. So real quick, the throttle position sensor tells this ECU, and I'm jumping all around, I know. The various sensors on the throttle body help the ECU determine how much oxygen is going into the motor, so it knows how much fuel to put in. That's the main goal. One of the parts of that equation is how far the throttle is open. And so if you watch the numbers here on the meter, as I open the throttle, watch the numbers change, okay? So that's how the computer knows, that's really tight to turn my fingers, that's how the computer knows how far the throttle is open. And that helps it determine how much air is going in, but that's only part of the equation. The other part of the equation is how much vacuum there is, how hard the engine is pulling, because the harder it pulls, the more air is going to go through that opening. And that's where the MAP sensor, the Manifold Absolute Pressure Sensor, comes in. And on this one, I'm using this one because it's real easy. This MAP sensor has a hose on it, just makes it easy for the demo. But it's got a little hole here. This is on the high vacuum side of the throttle body, and so the side where the motor is. And so it can tell how much vacuum is pulled on that side. So this one also makes it convenient because it happens to have the same plug as the TPS. So we'll just swap our plug over. I'm now plugged into the MAP sensor, and I need to change two wires here. This is the other reason we do this on the meter, to make it real flexible. Okay, now if you want to test if your MAP sensor is working, you're going to have something probably in this range. I don't have the exact spec for this MAP sensor, but we're just going to show you kind of how it functions. So we're sitting at 3.6-ish volts, sitting here at atmospheric pressure. I'm going to take a syringe, I'm going to apply it to this hose that comes out of the MAP sensor, and I'm going to show you what happens when I pull a vacuum. So I can untangle my cable a little bit. So I'm going to plug in the syringe. Now watch what happens. Watch when I pull the syringe. I'll draw a vacuum on the MAP sensor, just like the engine will draw a vacuum, and watch what happens to the voltage coming out of the MAP sensor. So I'm going to pull a vacuum. See the voltage going down? And the more I pull, the more it's going to go down. See if I can pull it as far as I can get it. So there we go. So you can see basically what's happening is the harder the engine is pulling, the more the voltage on the MAP sensor goes down, and that helps the engine determine how much air is being pulled through the throttle. And that's another piece to the puzzle it uses to determine how much fuel to put in to give you the best performance. So if you want to test the functionality of your MAP sensor, there will be a spec. You can get an actual vacuum gauge, and at a certain vacuum level it should give you a specific voltage. I don't have that spec for this throttle body, so in general, if you're just trying to ballpark it, say, is my sensor dead or is it working, you can use something like this, pull a little vacuum, and if the voltage changes, at least you know it's functioning, okay? So one more piece to help troubleshoot the problems you're having. If you're having some unusual running and you're not sure what the problem is, TPS looks correct, that's one more sensor you can check. And I hope this helps. Please leave comments below, click like if this helps you, and I appreciate your time. Thank you.